picky about that, and they have to bow down to the people who run the tournament because they're paying a lot of money. Paying a lot of money. They control that, so I get it. But it's, yeah, I think we can stay with the British Open here. And if you don't like it, let us know at NBC Sports Radio at @8Steve. Jason Hamill, the Cubs, getting cramps, and then his doctor told him, "Here's your prescription: eat potato chips." True story. Details on that coming up. It's one of my favorite doctor baseball stories ever. But we're going to talk some football with Eric Adelson from Yahoo Sports. Brady, Von Miller deal. That's next. NBC Sports Radio and the NBC Sports Radio app.
With a one-stroke deficit, Henrik Stenson, the Swede,
was ahead by 1, and already good start for Phil Mickelson. So we'll keep you updated on that and keep following the leaderboard over there at Royal Troon. But right now it's Phil Mickelson 1 under today, Stenson 1 over after 1 hole. So Mickelson's got the 1-stroke lead. Right now let's switch gears though and talk some football. Eric Adelson joining us from Yahoo Sports. Love chatting some NFL and other subjects with him. And so we appreciate your time this Sunday morning. Eric, thank you so much. Tom Brady has given up the fight. Are you surprised?
Not that much, to be honest, Coop. I kind of expected it a little bit sooner, of course, Brady might see it, but, I mean, the writing's a little bit on the wall. I don't think the Supreme Court is going to take this case. And if it does, I mean, I think that even if he wins, it becomes a national story. Tom Brady has a career after football and whatever he chooses to do, politics is possible, I imagine. Now, I don't know if you want to be the person that decides or that is known for just sort of taking something like this all the way to the Supreme Court when there's obviously much more important things that the nation has to worry about. So I think that combination probably swayed him to stop. But there's a much bigger battle to fight still, and that is the power of this union and collective bargaining over the next several years, decades. And I'm curious to see what role Brady has in that. I mean, he probably won't be active then, but I have a feeling he'll be very active in terms of influence. So this is not over in terms of the lasting legacy.
Right, and speaking of that, it's only over in the sense that Brady's not going to fight the suspension, and it feels like Deflategate as a big storyline will at least disappear. What did we learn? You know, when you look back at this, after all this money and time spent and hype about Deflategate, what did we learn here?
Well, we learned that the players union has to be stronger. I mean, remember the last lockout, which wasn't much of a lockout, the lockout loan, players sort of giving up too soon, choosing short-term money over long-term power, and this is part of what hurt them. And I think that they're paying for that now, and I think that they might continue to pay for that going forward, because this is something that I think a more powerful union might have been able to fight more successfully. Roger Goodell is even more powerful than science, some would argue, in this situation, and the players are going to make a change in that. They have to come together to stay together. Here's the problem, Coop, is that the length of the career is still after 4 years. And so if you're going to bat down the hatch and say, we're going to stop this game and we're going to hold out, you're risking, 25, maybe a third of your lifetime football salary on this. I'm not so sure that people will find Deflategate is more important than their individual choices and their individual income. That's the problem that football has, and I'm not sure that it's going to change.
That's so interesting. That's a great point. They lose their leverage in that sense, because otherwise, the NFL is raking in money. It's lucrative, and the players are successful, and everybody's making money. But that's where as opposed to the NBA, you see that the players have some real leverage, but it's because they're more likely, more willing to risk losing that income for a while. That's what you're saying. That the other sports, hey, in baseball, it's like, okay, if I sit out for half a season, I'm going to be fine because I'm going to make so much money for the rest of my long career. But in football, those careers are short.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. I mean, honestly, if you sit out a half a baseball season, you might end up with, the money's guaranteed. You'll probably be fresh when you come back. You won't get into August and September and be exhausted. And the playoffs will probably be more interesting. I mean, but if you sit out a football season, your whole life could change. And sort of people make fun of football players for sort of bailing out so soon, but I mean, that's in the best case scenario. What if you're sort of a 50 or 51 guy, 53-man roster, and you finally made a team, and then you have 1 year to make a good salary, and then after that, you're a normal person like the rest of us. Are you really going to go to the mattresses over Deflategate? I mean, that's really the problem with the unionizing and keeping strong in this sport. It's going to take enormous leadership. I mean, somebody to watch is like Richard Sherman, who I think is finding his voice and really becoming one of the leaders for the players, and I think he'll stay that way after his career is over. But he's got to be really convincing, as anybody would, to say... even though in their heart they know they're right.
Okay, Eric, let's switch gears for a second because, I found this conversation interesting. Didn't expect to go that deep into it, but I do want to get into some other things happening this week. Von Miller signs that deal. It finally happens. Not too surprising. $114.5 million, but more importantly, $70 million guaranteed. That's a record amount of money for the highest-paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Is that a smart thing to do for the Denver Broncos to commit that kind of money in this sport to Von Miller, one defensive player?
Well, they have to. I mean, this is a great segue from what we were just talking about. Coop, one of the very best players who had serious coverage.
I think we're having some trouble with Eric's cell phone there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, let's try it again. If we lose you, we'll call you back. Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Sorry about that. He's a great example, Coop, of the leverage we're talking about. He is a defensive player with enormous leverage. Extremely rare. We saw the Patriots game in the playoffs. The Denver Broncos made the Patriots look bad on the offensive line. That was almost unprecedented, and then made Cam Newton look bad. He is a defensive player who is as valuable as a quarterback, and he made it happen. That's so rare that it was good for him to push the Broncos, and the Broncos had no choice because without him, what are they? They're probably not even a division winner, if that. I mean. Sit down in the middle of the field and take their helmets off. How do you think the fans are going to react to that? Do you think they're going to be like, yes, finally, we need to pay these players? Or are they going to be like, you don't deserve your scholarship, you don't deserve to wear the Alabama colors, you don't deserve to be in our community, and we're extremely infuriated? I mean, I'm guessing it's the latter. And you know, media's guilty of this too, because a lot of people say in the media are on Twitter saying, pay the players, but then when there's the talk of adding an extra game for a playoff to make it 15 or 16 games, people say, yeah, we absolutely should. We need a true winner. I mean, you can't be both, can you, Coop? I mean, you can't say that these guys deserve to be compensated, but you also want to add a game at the end of the season so that they can risk their potential futures. It doesn't go that way. So we're not to the point where players are taking the kind of stance that they probably have to get a more fair, equitable situation.
Well, the other hypocrisy too, Eric, is, a lot of people like you and I are saying, yes, speak out, use that platform. And then, it's cool when it's something you agree with.